The story of Big Lurch. Who is Big Lurch? Big Lurch was born Antron Singleton on September 15, 1976 in Texas. Singleton would pursue a career as a rapper, where he would write poetry as young as 7 and would begin performing in 1990. During his time as a rapper, he would gravitate towards the horrorcore genre and would give himself the name Big Lurch, after Lurch from Addams Family due to their similar size. In the year 2000, his career would start building up steam after moving to Los Angeles, California, to record an album with producer Rick Rock. Unfortunately, Singleton was hit by a drunk driver one night in which he suffered from a broken neck. To combat the pain, Big Lurch turned to PCP. What is PCP? PCP is a very powerful dissociative, placing it in the same class of drug as DXM, ketamine, and nitrous. Dissociative drugs are known for their effects of disconnecting the mind from the body and/or one's environment. It was first synthesized in 1926 and was used as an anesthetic in the 50s for a couple of years before it was pulled due to the hallucinations patients would suffer from under the drug's influence. In the 60s, PCP started seeing recreational use, leading it to be placed as a Schedule III drug in the early 70s. Throughout the 70s, the drug saw a rise in popularity, leading to the drug being moved to Schedule II in 1978. Users of this drug report feelings of disassociation, loss of perception, loss of coordination, intense hallucinations, delusions, and loss of physical control. At high doses, it has been known to cause seizures, coma, and even death. Long-term use has been known to lead to schizophrenia-like psychotic episodes, severe memory loss, depression, weight loss, liver problems, and may cause the breakdown of skeletal muscles. The story. Singleton would smoke PCP days on ends, staying high for weeks, not eating, and losing himself more and more within the drug. On April 10, 2002, Big Lurch had some people over at his apartment where PCP was being passed around on dip cigarettes, and Big Lurch would consume a significant amount of the drug, an amount he considered to be strange, as he was being fed PCP dip cigarettes through the night. Later in the night, the 25-year-old rapper attacked his then roommate, Tynisha Ysais. She stood little chance against a 6'6" Lurch. Singleton knocked her down, and then she screamed, where she was beaten until the screaming stopped and was frozen in fear, while Lurch tore the apartment up looking for more PCP. While none of the drug was found, Big Lurch did find a large kitchen knife that he used to stab Ysais in the chest multiple times. Once her chest was sufficiently opened, Singleton grabbed the victim's right lung and began to eat it. After he had his fill, Singleton tore off all his clothes and left Ysais dead in the apartment with multiple stab wounds, 3 inches of blade that was broken off in her shoulder blade, bite and teeth marks all over her face, a broken neck and jaw, and a fractured eye socket. Once Big Lurch was spotted running down the street covered in blood, the neighbors called the police. When the cops arrived on the scene, they found Singleton standing in the middle of the street, screaming at the sky, and he would go on to growl at them like an animal when they arrested him. The officer that rushed into the apartment said she was faced with the most horrific sight she's ever seen and will be haunted by it for the rest of her life. The aftermath. Antron Singleton would wake up 2 weeks later after his arrest from the PCP-induced coma to the news that he was a murderer and a cannibal, without any recollection of the incident. By the time he became aware of his surroundings, he discovered that he had a lawyer and was going to face a murder charge. On November 7, 2003, Big Lurch was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While he pled not guilty by reason of insanity at the time of the murder, he was found guilty of murder and aggravated mayhem, as the court ruled intoxication and insanity were not a satisfactory reason for the crime. The jury came to their guilty verdict in less than an hour. Big Lurch is currently serving a life sentence in California State Prison for a murder he does not remember due to his abuse of PCP.